Welcome to the Real Estate Syndication Show. Whether you are a seasoned investor or building a new real estate business, this is the show for you. Whitney Sewell talks to top experts in the business. Our goal is to help you master real estate syndication. And now your host, Whitney Sewell.
The number one reason people struggle to close deals is because they don't have enough money. And that's because they don't have enough passive investors waiting on the sidelines, itching to get in. Is this you? The only way to fix this is to flip the script so that instead of chasing money, money chases you. By flipping the script, other syndicators raise all the money they need in 48 hours or less. How do they do it? They apply the techniques that you'll learn at the virtual Raising Money Summit on October 1st through the 4th. Adam and his team are pulling back the curtains with top syndication experts to share their secrets, systems, processes that empower them to never struggle raising capital ever again. And you can learn this from home while watching online. Are you ready to start learning how to attract millions of dollars for your next real estate deal? Listeners get a special pricing of only $97 by texting Whitney to 55444. That's Whitney to 55444. This is your daily real estate syndication show. I'm your host, Whitney Sewell. Today, our guest is Fletcher Clardy. Thanks for being on the show, Fletcher.
Thanks for having me today, Whitney. Pleasure to be on the show.
Fletcher is a deal desk captain and consultant at Clardy Equity Group, LLC, a well-funded and highly regarded real estate solutions provider of both stabilized and value-add commercial properties. He applies his financial experience when underwriting and evaluating potential investment opportunities. Fletcher has been working on his Master's of Science in Entrepreneurial Real Estate from the University of Missouri, Kansas City. He will complete the program this upcoming fall and graduate in December of 2020. Fletcher, thank you again for your time being on the show. Congratulations on, I'll just say early, but on completing this program. That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Taking the time to get through that. So, but give us a little more about, who you are, what you're up to in the real estate business, what deal desk captain means and, and consultant and who the Clardy Group is.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Whitney. I appreciate that once again. So like Whitney said, my name is Fletcher. I am currently attending UMKC, University of Missouri, Kansas City, and completing my Master's of real estate. Basically, it's a fancier name, but effectively just Masters of Real Estate. And that program will complete in December. So thank you for that. On the deal desk captain side with Clardy, we're a boutique commercial real estate investment firm investing in primarily multifamily. We own, operate, and manage. And our sweet spot is typically around the $3 to $50 million range. We could go higher for more compelling opportunities. We own, operate, and manage 500 doors currently, which is about 65 million assets under management. And my primary job there is to focus on the deal flow, underwriting, evaluations, so evaluating potential investment opportunities. And then also on the consulting side, like Whitney said, I do work with clients who are learning how to syndicate and learning to access other people's money. And ultra high net worth individuals, family offices, connect with those type of individuals to fund their investment opportunities.
Nice. Well, I know most of the listeners anyway they're also looking to connect with those investors, those ultra high net worth individuals and family offices and those groups and when you're first getting started in this business, it's a kind of a daunting task, a little bit scary, those conversations, you're not sure what they're going to ask, you're not sure who this person is, or how to even find them, to that aspect, or what does it even mean that, somebody is a family office or has a family office, so why don't you, Fletcher, why don't you break down a little bit, how you help people with that and how you find investors and maybe how you learn this craft?
So first and foremost, and Whitney, thank you for that question. That's a great question. When we work with clients who are seeking to build and establish these relationships, first, it starts by identifying your role in the real estate industry and what your business does. What service do you provide to these types of individuals? First, we'll pick that apart and make sure you understand it, exactly what your niche is, what your lane, what you want to invest in. Are you development? Are you, you want to be on the sponsor side? Do you want to fix and flip, rehab, value add? Just sort through those, obstacles and just that understanding so that we have an understanding what you provide to these investors. Then we make sure you have the proper marketing materials and understand what it looks like to approach these individuals and what their expectations are. And those marketing materials usually come in the form of a pitch deck, which I actually have one right here. This is one of our old ones. I'm not sure if any viewers can see or not, but I do have one. And the pitch deck basically is just a very elegant book of your history in the real estate investment world and the marketing opportunity that you have, and just a little brief synopsis of what that investment may look like. Definitely supported with some financials so that investors will know what returns to expect and different things of that nature.
Nice. So, why don't you just dive in there a little bit on identifying what you do and how, and I don't mean you, but like when you're helping somebody think through this, identifying what you do and how you can help. I think that's so important when you can kind of niche down and narrow down a little bit and say, this is our specialty, this is what we do. Can you give us some examples or help the listener think through that a little bit?
Yes, Whitney, thank you. Appreciate that question as well. And what that looks like is really understanding your investment criteria. So breaking that to pieces, what type of class do you want to invest in? Are you looking for multifamily assets? Are you looking to invest in office, retail, industrial? Just what type of asset, you're looking for. And that also includes the location, the type of asset. Is it a class A, class B, class C? Are you looking to buy and rehab, add value to a existing property or a property that needs to be completely gutted and redone? So I think that's the best way to start the relationship, Whitney, is to sit down and have those conversations about really diving into your own personal investment criteria so that we can focus on that. And that's how you start sourcing your deal flow. And, that starts with your own individual touch. You just get on the internet, get on Google and, search opportunities that match that criteria. And then you make those relationships, connect with other investors or the owner. You can reach out to the owner, the broker, or whomever you have to. And, I think that's kind of how it starts.
How are you finding these investors or high net worth individuals?
So that is a very great question, and I actually came prepared for that. It's a lot of digging and a lot of research behind identifying the proper point of contact within the walls of the family offices or the ultra high net worth individuals. And a lot of times, these types of individuals are very guarded with their identity. So they will not broadcast it over, social media or, put their contact information and ownership information. So it's even hard to find if you access the legal documents through the municipalities and the city documents, loans and deeds. It's still tough to find them. So it's a lot of digging. And I would say also attending networking events. IMN is a great networking middle market multifamily forum, which I actually attended in February when things were actually still normal prior to COVID. That was one of my last trips, but that was a great networking event. We met with a few family offices there, and just attending networking events. I know it's difficult now, but there are still Zoom conferences, video conferences of networking events where you can have the potential to meet with these individuals and have those introductions, tell them what services you provide, and hopefully get a deal done with them.
So, going to a conference like that, yeah, I know the listener's thinking, well, wait a minute, why is that family office going to meet with me when I get there? So what happened? How did you connect with them before that, or to make that arrangement happen? I'm sure they are, and I know they are, but selective about who they're meeting with, right? They're going to be very selective about their time and, who they're spending time with and why. So what did that look like beforehand to make that happen?
So a lot of the times with these forums that are provided, like the IMN does, they will give you the opportunity to network before the actual event takes place. So our event was, February 3rd through the 5th or something like that. And the whole month before, you have access to the database of all the attendees that will be, at the event. And you have that time to reach out and try to schedule meetings while you're there. And that's great because a lot of, forums don't provide that. And what that allows you to do is just schedule an itinerary for yourself to meet with who you think is most important and who you want to, time management, who you want to spend your time in these 3 days, these 2 days. And, these are all about 5 to 10 minute meetings. So you have to, get a lot out in a short amount of time and get your point across and make sure that you're sharp and enthusiastic and you're showing that you're an expert in your field.
So what did that say first contact look like, or just so you're able to stand out with them, or what, how did you handle that, say, first contact to even, whether it was through that forum, but then also in person as well?
Okay, so yeah, initially, yes, it was with the forum, scheduled a meeting, and they have panel discussions. So after a panel discussion, we actually met with him, said, hey, I reached out through, the forum, and he said, yes, he was familiar with who we were. And we basically understood right there in that moment, tried to identify quickly the investment criteria, like, hey, yeah, what type of assets are you looking for, and what does your family office invest in? And basically from there, it was really just a pass off of contact information, where you get the card and their direct line or direct email, and then it's pretty much just you have to send them an opportunity that kind of identifies with them, that fits in that specific, investment criteria, that wheelhouse, and that's how the relationship will get started. And you have to be very selective with that because you don't want to burn the bridge, you don't want to waste their time. So when you come with an opportunity, you have to make sure that it does fit into that wheelhouse and it makes sense for them, or you'll damage your credibility with those type of investors.
How much time do you spend on, say, a family office, relationship versus, just high net worth individuals or investors?
So with the family offices, we're definitely focused on generational relationships and
Right.
versus transactional relationships. So yeah, we want to do multiple dozens of investments with these family offices, not focused on one. So with that, the focus is just making sure we're always creating value. That's one of our 10 commandments of commercial real estate. That's number 9. Create value always. Number 3, you want to make sure there's an alignment of interest first and foremost. So with everyone we work with, we make sure that we understand what exactly they're doing and they understand exactly what we're doing. And if it doesn't make sense to work together, then you just walk away. Everyone's not going to fit into your, bubble. And some people may be doing the same things and they'll be okay working with you, and some may not. But alignment of interest is big. I'll get back focused on that, making sure that overall goals of the company, markets, asset type, what I've already touched on, that you're aware of that and you're always keeping that in mind when sending these types of deals and everything, these investment opportunities, because you don't want to waste their time.
For sure. So tell me though, like you mentioned, the importance of adding value to that family office. What
Yeah.
does that look like? I mean, they're obviously very skilled at investing, and
Yeah.
have done this most likely over many generations now, and have passed these skills down. But for you to add value to them, how do you do that?
So the biggest thing for us is, providing high quality, pre-vetted off-market opportunities. And that is where you can get a low basis first and foremost, which is number one on the Clarity 10 Commandments, commercial real estate rules of investing, low basis. And right now, especially in this market, the off-market opportunities are the only place that you can find, quality deals. So just having those relationships established with brokers, other real estate professionals that are in the market and in the know, that can come to you and tell you about opportunities that may be coming online down the pipeline before they hit the market. So that's one of the things we provide, and we do that vapidly. We make sure we put our own capital in these deals that we partner in. Normally when we're bringing a deal to a family office, it's a great deal for everyone. That's part of that alignment of interest. So we want to invest alongside your capital as well, and you have to be in a position to do that. And when we work with these family offices and ultra high net worth individual, there's low or no fees or loads. We're not profiting from fees. That's not how we become financially successful. At Clarity, we manage the investment in a top-notch manner, and then we share in the upside. We share in the long haul over that life of the investment. Typically,
That shows more alignment of interest, right?
yeah, most definitely. And then we're good stewards of the investment fund. Starting with the service, we put our investors' interests in front of our own, and that's how we all prosper.
Nice. No, I like that a lot. And putting their interest in front of your own. I know you mentioned like you're not going to focus on the fees as much. You all are going to be paid more so from the long term, just like investors are. And I wonder though, like for you, Fletcher, just through the syndication business, what's been the hardest part for you? Getting into this business and getting to where you all are at now.
Yes, sorry about that, Whitney. Getting a drink of water. Great question. The most challenging part, what I would have to say, is the initial contact, because there's so much digging and research, and it takes time, and you have to be persistent. It may not be the first call, it may not be the first email, or book copy of your book that you send them, or whatever you try to reach out with a mailer. You have to be persistent and dedicated to connecting with these individuals. And then when you have that relationship, you definitely have to protect that relationship and guard it, and make sure that you're following up and maintaining it, and always adding value.
Nice. You said you use some mailers. Is that? Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So part of the initial contact process for us when we're reaching out, just the different touch points. There's always a call, of course, the phone. If you get a number, sometimes there's not always a working number. So then you have email. You find an email. You reach out with the email. That doesn't work. Maybe you have an address. You send a mailer. Maybe you've written a book on real estate investment or financial services or literacy or something. You want to send them a copy of your book. Back here in the corner here, my manager, Seth Wilson, he wrote a book, Real Estate Flight Plan, and that's what he has sent out to family offices to connect with. And it's a great book, speaks to his experience in, real estate investing. And he also ties it into his background and history as a Air Force pilot, working with the Air National Guard. So it's pretty awesome. So that's something that we've sent out to these individuals. And then one pagers, one pagers that briefly just give an overview of your firm, your services, your background, just a quick one pager that you can get together. We actually have a copywriter and a designer that does all of ours, make sure they're real nice and professional and sophisticated. But those are also good to get out and make initial contacts.
Nice. So what's a way that you recently improved your all's business that we could apply to ours?
I'm sorry, what's a way that we've improved the business?
Right. Just a way you all have recently improved your business that we could apply to our business.
I would say the follow-ups and, managing your CRM database and your relationships, because that's the goal. That's the money, is the network. So you want to focus on that and focus on the relationships that you have. So what we've done is making sure, we have a newsletter that comes out at least every 3 months. We try to do, a month, but at least every 3 months, a newsletter about what Clardy has going on, what we're doing. We make sure to send mailers out. We just send thank you cards out to all the banks, the bank relationships that we have, just because we know that right now there's some troubled assets. And we work with these banks and remove non-performing notes, judgment pools, things of that nature. That's just an alternative investment for us. And we could use that as arbitrage. So we made sure to send thank you cards out to them. Other things, I would say, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Follow up is just essential, right?
Yeah, the relationships.
Right. And what CRM do you all use?
So we've been using Excel and looking at other platforms like Insightly or Monday.com, a few that we weighed, but with our, 2,000, I would say 2,500, contacts, real estate professionals that we have in our database, it's managed in Excel right now.
Okay. And what's your best source for meeting new investors right now?
I would say social media. So LinkedIn, Bigger Pockets, real estate investment groups on Facebook, because everyone's, working digitally now. So you have to get in that network and in that space to really connect with other investors. And Bigger Pockets and LinkedIn is great for that, especially Bigger Pockets.
What's the number one thing that's contributed to your success?
I would say communication. And, communication, relationships, building and maintaining those relationships and identifying the opportunity within that relationship. And so that everyone wins, everyone succeeds.
Nice answer. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say communication before. I think it's such an important skill set. If you can be a good communicator, you can go places. No doubt about it.
For sure.
And to tell us how you like to give back.
So one really awesome question. This is my favorite question thus far, Whitney. So if I didn't mention, my background was in financial advising space. So before real estate, I was working with Edward Jones and Northwestern Mutuals, selling life insurance and all in mutual funds and stocks. So I have a financial background that helps with the, of course, with the real estate. One way that I give back and utilize my experience is I started a program that advocates financial literacy to age, primarily males in the age groups 10 to 15, and just basically teaching them the basics, just understanding, credit, working with banks, how money works, 401ks, investments, savings, things of that nature, budgeting, really the basics of financial literacy, because that was something that I felt that I received behind the curve, and I want to bring back to the community and make sure that our youth understand how money works, because understands how money works and how to apply it for passive income and utilize it to put it to work.
Nice. Well, appreciate you giving back in that way, Fletcher, and just giving back to us today. I'm grateful for your time and to have met you, personally, but then also, thinking about working with family offices is something that is not talked about a ton, I don't feel like. And so I'm just grateful for you bringing your experience and expertise about that. And tell the listeners how they can get in touch with you and learn more about you.
So first and foremost, I want to say thank you, Whitney, once again for having me on the show. ClarityEquityGroup.com is our website, and that's really the best starting point. You could also reach me on LinkedIn, just Fletcher Clardy, FletcherClardy. My work number is 816-360-9602. Definitely give me a call. I would love to connect, love to hear what you have going on and how I could be of assistance. But definitely I will go visit the website, and all that information is on there. ClarityEquityGroup.com.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Syndication Show, brought to you by LifeBridge Capital. LifeBridge Capital works with investors nationwide to invest in real estate, while also donating 50% of its profits to assist parents who are committing to adoption. LifeBridge Capital, making a difference, one investor and one child at a time. Connect online at www.lifebridgecapital.com for free material and videos to further your success.